a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed.
Hello and welcome to episode 23 of Michael's Corner. My name is Michael. Did I get your attention? The last bit is a common sound in many areas of the country. If you live in one of these areas, how often do you hear gunshots? This is why this episode is entitled Second Amendment Paranoia. It seems appropriate, Please like, subscribe, and share with others who may be interested in this type of content. Also, please check out newimagestore.com for some cool last-minute Christmas gifts. Now, let me start by saying that I strongly believe in the right to bear arms and am a licensed gun owner. For more information on what I've already talked about in regards to gun control and the Second Amendment, check out episode 4, which is called Gun Control. I know, how original, right? Anyway, I will put up a link there. Now, I'm not going to rehash what I've already talked about, but I do want to clarify why I named this episode with Paranoia in the title. The reason behind this is the very reason that this amendment was ratified, which was in 1791. This has been controversial since it was ratified. Now, in order to understand how the paranoia started, we must look back to when the Constitution was first created. There were two groups at that time that had very different views about gun control. The two groups were called the Federalists and the Anti-Federalists. Now, the Federalists believed in a strong central government and the establishment of a standing military to defend against invasion. Now, the Anti-Federalists believed, on the other side, fearing monarchy and tyranny, that each state should have their own standing militia to prevent the government from imposing their will on the people. In this instance, they would assist the government in defending the country as needed and protect against local unrest without government interference. The Second Amendment was created as a compromise between the two viewpoints, allowing the country to create a standing army, but introduce protection from the government so that they couldn't use those forces against their own people. Now, how does this translate into the modern world? Well, some people believe that an armed citizenry is safer, while others believe that more guns lead to more violence. So you have two views even in modern times. Now, more often than not, more and more states are attempting to restrict the use of firearms, and if they should succeed, our right to bear arms may be taken away. I will repeat what I have said in episode 4, and I firmly believe in this. It is not the gun that kills people, it is the person behind the gun. So this is why it's important to have background checks and things like this to make sure that whoever owns that gun can safely handle the gun and is mentally capable of handling that gun. Now, I cannot finish this soapbox without talking about the landmark court case called the District of Columbia versus Heller that was decided in 2008. Now, I call this landmark because a lot of modern changes to the Second Amendment branch from here. Now, at this time, 2008, DC had a standing ban against handguns, and Heller, who was a police officer, wanted to keep his handgun at home, so he applied for a permit. It was denied because of the handgun ban. Now, taking it to court, he won his case, and in the majority decision, Judge Antonin Scalia stated that the handgun ban was a violation of the Second Amendment right of an individual to possess and carry weapons in case of confrontation. The court did acknowledge, however, that some limits were needed, such as possession of firearms by felons, or in places such as schools or federal buildings. Now, I am obviously a gun advocate, but I do understand the limitations as outlined in this case. I also believe that strong background checks are absolutely essential so that we can feel safe about who should and should not have a firearm. That, to me, is a matter of public safety. Now, there are people who have guns illegally, as I've said before, and we must do a better job of stopping them without compromising our right to bear arms. That's my soapbox for today. I will see you all in the next section. Welcome back to the question of the day. The question for today is, which side are you on? Do you believe in our right to bear arms? Or do you think that right should be restricted or removed altogether? That's it for my questions, and I have no questions from you guys to answer, so we'll move on to my next section and my final thoughts for this episode. Welcome to my final thoughts. Now, we are at a time in our history where the right to bear arms has become increasingly important, with gun violence at an all-time high and people getting angry about trivial things, which lead to hurting or killing people because they don't know how to deal with the perils of everyday life. We must have the ability, as Americans, to protect ourselves. To take away our right to have guns may seem important to some people, but if we're going to do that, how about banning knives? How about banning baseball bats? How about anything that could cause harm to someone? Do you really think that our country would only stop at eliminating the ability to carry firearms? That would just be the start of a snowball effect that would leave Americans powerless to defend themselves against the government or anyone else who would want to harm us. A very dramatic approach, but a necessary one. At any rate, that is my show for today. Now, today was all about the Second Amendment and the right to bear arms. I have expanded upon what I have already covered in episode 4 of Michael's Corner. Now, next week, we're going to tackle the Third Amendment and see where it goes. I have some interesting ideas about that one. For the moment, though, I want all of you to be safe, be careful, be open-minded, and I will see all of you in the next episode of Michael's Corner. Happy holidays, and thanks for watching.